Today, I want to talk about the state of the Indian economy. There were other topics which I wanted to discuss today, but these have failed into the background. About after I've seen what the images of people suffering in North India have come out. State after state has announced severe restrictions. This is practically a lockdown. I live in Tamil Nadu, in deep down south, relatively unaffected and unscathed by this virus pandemic. I said relatively. From yesterday, it has become very difficult, even in the city of Madras, to find an ICU bed. At best, you are able to find a bed with oxygen. But this is definitely better than what is happening in the rest of the world. When I say rest of the world, I mean my own universe, rest of India. This rest of India's poor public health infrastructure has been badly been exposed completely. Except perhaps Kerala and Tamil Nadu, no other state is able to manage its oxygen problem properly. Orissa now claims it has enough oxygen, and other states except Telangana and Andhra are not picking it up. So, we have an uneven case of oxygen productions. We have lot of oxygen production capabilities in areas where there is no requirement. A senior professional who was once the managing director of Linde told me that India uses only 5% of its total oxygen capacity for medical uses. And for all practical purposes, except certification and minor differences, there is no difference between medical and industrial oxygen. With a few tweaks, industrial oxygen can be diverted for medical oxygen. Most of India's medical oxygen or industrial oxygen is present in East and Deep South. Some of it is there in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Inox is one of the largest players. If the government imposes its will, then it is very quickly possible that we can start meet this oxygen crisis ourselves with better planning and better supply logistics. But it requires political will and big discipline. It's high time we called out the army to manage this. Also, it is the responsibility of private hospital chains which have large number of beds. They must have ramped up their own oxygen capacity. They were charging humongous sums for beds even when times were normal. If they had built up their oxygen capacity, India will not be in such a bad position today. But it is not the time for each of us to blame each other now. Let us now look at the impact that this economy is going to take a hit because the pain is going to be in the recovery process. Krishnamurthy Subramaniam and his acolytes in the government claimed that India would recover very fast and India would be the fastest recovering economy in the world. I took it with a bag of salt. For the third quarter, they said that the economy grew by 0.3%. This they achieved by reducing the growth for the third quarter of last year to 3.1%. It's high time, like Arvind Subramaniam and Raghuram Rajan said, we stop fudging data, rather admit truth as it is and face up to it. The first quarter of this year was supposed to be the magic quarter because we lost nearly 30% of our economy and the economy contracted by 30% last year. It was hoped that we would grow big this quarter and this would be the best performing quarter. The second wave has put paid to all that effort. India's first quarter of this year is going to be another laggard. I hope we will not see a contraction because businesses are still open and still there is some movement of people. But with every passing day, with number of cases going through the roof and hospitals under stretch, people are going to be psychologically dented and will not spend money. Apart from that, states like mine, Tamil Nadu, and the neighboring state of Karnataka, Rajasthan, Delhi have imposed severe lockdown conditions where most of the malls and large showrooms have to be shut. Only small shops are allowed to be open, that too without air conditioning. All shops, including tea shops, cannot serve their customers directly and will have to resort to only parcel. What does this mean? This means The service sector, which was limping back to a recovery, is completely dead. Each my state, Tamil Nadu, has put an e-pass, which means outside traffic between Tamil Nadu and the rest of India is going to be badly affected. This means that there is not going to be smooth transfer of goods between Tamil Nadu and rest of India. Other states are following suit, though I do not have the details. This is lockdown by the backside or lockdown by sleet. This means our economy is going to be badly affected. There is no sign that credit, which is the engine for growth, is growing. Bank after bank, when I look at the results, have shown increased profits by reduced costs, higher interest margins, and lower labor costs, not by increasing lending. The entire lending for the country increased only by 6% last year. The month of April is almost at an end, and I do not see any sign of increased lending by these companies. If banks are not willing to lend, then there is no way our economy is going to grow. The entire April has been lost, and retail indicators are flashing red from the week ended April 18, which shows that we may have further contraction. If we contract in the month of April and May is completely under the grips of a lockdown, you are going to have further contraction in the first quarter. Therefore, rosy pictures of projected of heady growth of 12% are out of the window. Even 10% this year looks very difficult. I would conservatively estimate that we will grow between 6 to 7% if we can close out the virus by May end and June. We have a normal open market. If we even lose June, even 7% becomes difficult. But even 10% would not have solved our problem because, like I have pointed out several times, a 10% contraction last year would have taken the GDP from 100 to 90. A 10% increase would have taken it back to 99. We needed to grow at an excess of 12% to have real growth. That looks very unlikely now. It is only going to be in the middle of next year that we will overtake the GDP we recorded in 2019-20. This means lower per capita income and the poor are more vulnerable and going to be affected more. It is very important that the policymakers start counter-cyclical measures and give us a fiscal stimulus that the nation so desperately requires. Thank you for watching. Be rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.